But
I mean, I would argue a really close relationship where you're able to share everything and they're able to see the struggles that most people don't ever see is another experience where when you
boring
talk about
wins,
boring wins,
successes.
you can share them together, you know? My wife is a hell of a lot more proud of me for being myself and being genuine than I ever winning Olympias, you know? So I think that's another, how we started off the podcast, way to experience something with someone else.
I was talking to Ben Shapiro yesterday, and he sort of reminded everybody just how much his wife, who's like an accomplished doctor and they've got 4 kids or whatever, gives absolutely zero shits about what he does. He said that there'd been this week where he'd filmed some really impressive documentary thing over in Europe and then came back and was currently the #1 rap artist in America in the same week. And he got home and talking to his wife and just saying, how's your week been? And she's explaining about, oh, well, this happened with the kids and such and such a thing. She said, how was your week? And he says, yeah, pretty busy, I think. And he explained, he's like, I'm currently the #1 selling rap artist. And he was like, yeah, that's good. The bins need taking out.
Yeah, to go take out the trash.
Yep.
That's a beautiful relationship.
I think it's cool.
That's awesome. And she probably also knows him well enough to know that that's probably not a victory that he holds high in his heart as well. Yeah. So
it's not like, I finished a book that I worked on for a long time.
If he was super proud of it, I'm sure she would support him for it. But she's like, all right, you have enough ego blast.
You're competing with Nicki Minaj. No one cares. Talk to me about this prep. How's this prep been?
This prep has been good. You know, it's been a struggle up and down at moments, as they always are. I started a little bit late this year, I feel. You know, I spent my winter down in Turkey getting a new hairline and didn't go
sweet, dude.
A little straighter than last time. A little, what do they call me? The Lego Roblox character.
Yep. Yeah.
The comments love it. But it took a couple months off at the beginning of the year and kind of developed a little bit of pressure behind me, feeling behind, and allowed me to kick my ass and go through it. But, you know, I feel good. My body's healthy and I'm ready to roll. What
are your biggest cheats for this stage of prep, or biggest insights around fat loss? I imagine the hunger that you're dealing with is pretty ugly. What calories are you on at the moment?
I'm eating about 2,200 calories right now.
Okay. And we're 3 weeks out?
3.5.
Yeah. So that's going to go down to 1,500, 1,600?
It depends every year. Probably, though.
Okay.
I still have to lose 9 pounds in 3 weeks, so yeah. So probably it'll cut down a little more.
How do you deal with the hunger? Because it doesn't matter. People don't need to be trying to win the Mr. Olympia for the 6th year in a row or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's on a cut deals with really difficult hunger. And most of them don't have world championship driving them.
Yeah.
What's your best ways for coping with hunger and cravings and stuff like that when you're deep into a fat loss phase?
I mean, it's hard to answer in that aspect because I always have had world championship as my driving passion.
Stopping a pussy. Yeah.
Like, don't be a little bitch. Just don't eat it, you know? Yeah. But I would say the momentum is absolutely huge. Being able to do something consistently. I've been doing this consistently for a decade. You know, almost everything I've eaten has been weighed out to a T and planned and for a reason for 10 years now. And if I had stopped and eaten whatever I want for 5 years and come back and be like, okay, diet for an Olympia, it would be extremely hard for me mentally to handle that. Every year has gone a little bit easier because I've gotten used to it. I know what it takes. I know what comes with it. We were just talking about, you said Mike Israel says the same thing. Mm-hmm. You stop caring about food. Even in my off season, I don't like eating food because I'm eating so much food. So I don't look forward to the food that I eat. I just make sure it's something edible that I can get down. If I have to put like bone broth on it or some sriracha and just eat it really fast. And then when I come down into prep and I am hungry, I still am not excited to eat the food. It's just some chicken breast and some meal, make it super plain, and it is what it is. Get through the day and you're fine. And you also got to create like exciting daily victories for myself. You know, I weigh myself like 3 times a day and I don't get obsessively worried about it, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to weigh myself right now. I'm a pound heavier than I was yesterday. You can't even think about eating anymore today. Like, you're heavier than yesterday. Like, you should probably eat less today, even go do some more cardio, push it a little bit harder. And then you're just tracking daily victories and every single day trying to be a little bit better, checking the scale, doing your check-ins, going to the gym, seeing how you feel. And there's something in bodybuilding that's a little like sadistic where you just, when you start to get to that point where you're so tired and like, I was telling you, like, I dropped something on the floor and I'm like, look at it. And I'm like, I can't pick that up. I'm like, it's too far. I do not have the energy. I'm literally wearing Birkenstocks, dragging my heels across the ground and walking. Courtney's like 20 feet ahead of me. I'm like, I can't catch up. I'm too tired. But there's something about that where you're like, I'm going to be fucking shredded if I'm this tired. If I feel like this for weeks, my body is burning fat. It has nothing in it. It has no energy. I'm just holding on to muscle. And there's just something exciting about, achieving that level of like leanness and trying to beat past versions of myself. So it's all mental for me at this point. There's no really crazy diet hacks. I eat the exact same thing every day. It just reduces the amounts over time and go with the flow.
What does I don't know whether I've ever seen a rebound day for you. I don't know whether you've ever vlogged it. If you have, I've missed it.
A refeed day?
Yeah, like a rebound day, day after the Olympic. There's always these. I imagine that you're the sort of person that doesn't do a ridiculous binge because it would actually wreck your stomach.
Yeah.
But what do you even have that? I look forward to eating. ...
I definitely still do at times, and I'll say this now because it will come out after the Olympia, but I don't think I've said this public because it's funny, but my coach I've been very big on when I have a refeed, it's the same food I eat every day, but more of it. But every now and then I'm like, fuck, I just want a cookie, I just want a muffin. So my coach's like, what'd you eat today? I'm like, 400 grams of rice. But like realistically, I had a bunch of chicken breasts and then I had 3 cookies with it, and it's the same amount of carbs, but I'm like, I'm just gonna have some cookies today. Yep. Fuck it,
Yep.
And I go for it. And I let myself have that now, there's a level of intuition I've developed over the years of doing what I do where like I might have stressed about that in the past, but it's going to affect me more. And now I'm like, you know what you're doing. You've done this for 10 years. You know what's going to hold you back, what's going to not. I'm going to enjoy my cookie with my wife. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to go to the gym, train some
I know
legs.
It's good for me.
It's good. It's fine. And I'll be good.
It's the same for me with the show, with prep for the show. There was a long period still now when I'm in less of a mindful place where I just need to know more. I need to be better prepared. I need to have more stories. I need to have done more reading, even if it's not about the guests, just in other areas.
Yeah.
And then there's other times where I go, I've got this. I did 5 episodes in 3 days in New York this week. And getting toward the end, I was sitting down with Casey Neistat. Like, he's literally a pro conversationalist that's released an unlimited amount of videos. This is going to be the easiest conversation in history. You don't need to come in with all of these different interesting ideas and stats and all the rest of it. So it's the only equivalent I can find to your...
I have the same equivalent with this podcast too, because when it was coming up, I was like, in the past, I've done a bunch of podcasts, and in the last year or so, I was like, I don't want to do anymore. I felt like I was trying to learn things to be articulate, to say, to sound smart, and to sound cool, motivational. And I was like, I don't want to live like that anymore. I just want to live life, not to present it to people. I would learn something and be like, I could say that on YouTube or something, and it would sound cool. And I was like, fuck that. I don't want to do that anymore. And then you hit me up to do the podcast. I was like, oh shit, I haven't been doing that. Am I going to have anything to say?
Yeah.
But then I was like, I'm not the smart guy. I'm not the guy who went to school and has all this intelligence and these crazy stories and all this stuff. I'm just the guy who talks about his truth and his own stories and reality. So as long as I can bring that out, we're good to go. Don't overthink it.
Over the span of about a year, I tried pretty much every greens drink that I could, trying to find out which one was best. I came across AG1 and I've stuck with it for over 3 years now because it's the best, most comprehensive, highly tested, and rigorously formulated. 1 scoop of AG1 contains 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients, including a multivitamin, multi-mineral, pre- and probiotic, green superfood blend, and more that all work together to fill the nutritional gaps in your diet. It increases energy and focus, aids with digestion, and supports a healthy immune system, all without the need to take multiple products or pills. Best of all, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee, so if you're not sure, you can buy it and use it every single day for 3 months, and if you do not like it for any reason, they will give you your money back. Right now, you can try it completely risk-free with that 90-day money-back guarantee, plus get a year's free supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs by going to the link in the description below or heading to drinkag1.com/modernwisdom. That's drinkag1.com/modernwisdom. I've gone back through your Instagram over the last few months, and you've done some really cool stuff. You've started putting pretty nice insights in captions over videos that are pretty enjoyable to read. They're a nightmare to go back and try and actually write down because they're moving pretty quickly. Yeah. So I want to go through some of the best stuff I've learned from you over the last few months.
Sure.
The first one is exactly what you were just talking about. If I could go back, I'd tell younger me, you're going to do some pretty great things, but you do not need to be great. All you have to do is be yourself. That will always be enough. What's that mean to you?
I've had a lot of different thoughts that have come into my mind now having a child. When Courtney was pregnant, thinking about raising a child, myself when I was a child, and all these things. And I think I always felt like I wanted to be good at everything I did and be great at what I did. And I never expected to be as good as I was. So it would just be such an interesting relief to be able to give myself to be like, you are going to be great. You're going to have all these things that you want, but you're also going to realize that they're not as important as you think they are. You know, like you're going to come to the realization where the relationships and your values and everything that you enjoy and the experiences, everything aren't going to come down to those spectacular moments on stage at the Olympia. They're going to be much more simpler than that. There's just going to be those moments where you're being yourself, and the people who love you for that is going to be everything.
You do not need to be great. That compulsion, that necessity, that sort of being pulled forward, the lack, I am not enough as I am. And if I achieve these great things, and if everyone thinks I'm cool or says that I'm successful, then I am worthy of acceptance and validation and praise and adoration. Is that the subtext below that quote?
Like, yeah, essentially, yeah. That's it's just a drive of self-worth. You know, that's kind of a buzzword of what's going on right now. But I think it's, you know, we were all kind of raised in a self-esteem society of being like, you can do anything, you can be anything, go be this, X, Y, and Z. And it almost built expectations that we had to be these great things because we could be. And our parents didn't have these opportunities and these privileges. So we go do all these things. And there's just no need for any of it, you know?